We are Si and Sophie. This is Coastal News, a home and away podcast, your weekly episode companion podcast for your favourite Aussie soap.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Coastal News First Look. This is our weekly episode that we put out on a Sunday evening, in addition to our main podcast episode that we upload on a Saturday. Saturday's episode, we review last week's drama in Summer Bay, but on Sundays in First Look, we take a little sneaky peek ahead at the episodes that will be airing on Channel 5 and 5 Star this week. So on that note, there may be some spoilers, so spoiler alert. We're going to have a look at the episode synopses, whatever the word is, and see what's going to happen in the Bay this week. And as always, I'm joined by Si. Hello, Si.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
Not too bad. I'm buoyant, would be the word.
Buoyant. Loving that.
Mm.
I'm not feeling as buoyant. I'm still sweaty and annoyed.
It's been a fab weekend.
Aw.
That's it now, though. That'll be some of that now.
Oh, please be right about that, because I'm so over it. I'm so ready. I was pulling out things with sleeves and ready for leather jackets and
Putting them all back again.
Yeah, I'm annoyed. I'm waiting for Halloween now. Come on. So yeah.
Yeah, we can't
Hopefully-
be having these temperatures at Halloween. It's not right, that is
Exactly. It's not seasonal.
it?
Not seasonal. Right. Are you ready for First Look?
Yeah, give it to me. Come on.
But before we get on with it, I need an episode number from you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So what episode number is the next episode that we're going to be watching, which will be Monday at 6:30 p.m. on 5 Star?
Well, I do believe
Uh-oh.
a source close to the transmission team at Channel 5 did tell me it was 8,082.
Let me check my records. Correct. 8,082. How do you do this? I'm so bad at this game, and you get it every week. Damn it. I'm rubbish. But well done. Congratulations. Glass of
Thank you.
Prosecco on Mac, I believe. Yes, Mac is paying for your Prosecco tonight.
Well, she never charges nobody, so why
Card
stop
machine.
now, kid?
Card machine's broken apparently, so fill your boots. Right, okay then. So Monday, 11th of September 2023,
Oh,
Felicity's blackmailer ups their demands. Again? Wait a
not
minute,
surprised.
haven't we just had, we've paid out £1,000, we've paid out 10 grand, and that we're going up again?
Has she paid the 10 grand?
I think
Like,
so.
was that explained, was it? Or was it just implied?
It was implied because she got the 10 grand pretty much immediately from Cash. Remember, they had that conversation and their insult on like the balcony bit. And he goes, oh, I'll send it you right now. And her phone pinged and she was like, oh, thank God. And I got the impression then that she went straight on her phone and pinged it off to the blackmailer.
Or did she? Like, that's implied, isn't it? As the blackmailer saying you've not paid it, it's now gone up. I mean, even if she paid it, they'd ask for more, wouldn't they? Because they've done it once already.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't going to stop, is it?
No. Not until she goes to the police. I don't understand why she's not getting there faster.
The police, her brother that lives in the same house as her. It's not difficult to go to the police when they live in the same house as you, but there we go. Anyway, Justin puts a Rush on Lyrics album launch. Well, we saw this, didn't we? So on Friday's First Look, we were saying, oh, it's 2 weeks away. This album, he's managed to get, was it the L Club or something? The El Rey Club or something in Yabby Creek or the city or somewhere. I don't know where it was. It just was a brief mention. He managed to get some club. They were all very excited about it. But the catch was it was 2 weeks away. And there was a lot of panic. You know, Remy raced home to go and finish producing the album because he was still working on it. But then later on in that episode, he was talking to Mac, wasn't he, Justin, and saying, the venue fell through, but I've managed to find another one. And the only time they can fit us in is tonight. So, as it says here, puts a Rush on Lyrics album launch. I mean, they've got hours, haven't they, as far as we can make out.
I can't believe he's actually entertaining that, though.
It's insane. It's insanity. I mean,
Surely you'd sooner push it back than
you
have an
push it.
unfinished album.
That sounds shit and hasn't been produced properly. I mean, not being funny, but the whole thing's been done on a shoestring as it is. Because they've
Yeah.
got this free recording studio, they've got no engineer, Remy's doing it all. He's now doing post-production on the album. I presume he knows enough to get them through, but to do it in a couple of hours, it seems like pushing it a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're going to go ballistic, aren't they?
And he's too scared to tell them at this point, isn't he? Because he said to Theo on Friday, don't tell them because I don't want them to panic. You know, I'll fix it. But Theo wasn't there when he found out that the album launch was tonight, because I think he just spoke to Mac about it, didn't he? And she was like, oh, this is the problem. And he was like, yeah. Okay. Well, next line says Kirby confides in Theo. Is this the surf thing? The last time we saw them together, do you remember she turned up at his door? Because Remy had a go at her, didn't he? He said, like, this thing between you and Theo, you both decided to become a thing. You both decided to become a couple. Now you're not a couple. You need to own it. You need to, like, deal with this. And you can't let the band suffer for what you're, you know, the breakup. So the last time we saw her, she was kind of sheepishly knocking on Justin's door, wasn't she, to go and talk to Theo when he let her in.
Yeah, but
So
what is it she's confiding in?
Is it this? Because he's been asking, like, why didn't you tell me that you could surf? Max told me there's something traumatic. Do you want to talk about it?
That's not very exciting, though, is it?
It's not, but it's not. It's not been very exciting.
I thought she
week.
was there to apologise and be like, "I've been a buffhead." Like,
maybe I would be up for that because I kind of want to see that. I think we need it. Maybe. Should we see what happens the rest of the week?
Yeah, we're gonna have to, because that's making it sound a bit more dramatic than it probably is.
Probably. Oh God, right. Okay, so the next day now, Theo chokes at Lyrics launch.
He's a nightmare with his nerves in. That's twice now.
He gets stage fright, doesn't he?
Yeah,
pretty bad.
Battle at the Bands was bad.
Yeah, because do you remember when he auditioned for Lyric back in the day, whenever that was, whenever Bob decided to run away? He auditioned, didn't he, in Salt, because they were holding those open auditions and we had to sit through, those terrible. Oh God, some of them were horrendous, weren't they? And then he turned up and he was quite shy. And they said to him, didn't they? Because obviously he's very young. Like I think he's 21, 22. And they said, what's your experience of being in a band? And he's like, I've never been in a band. I've never even performed, you know, to an audience. You know, I've only ever done it to family and friends. And, you know, because the whole backstory with Theo is that he was interested in playing guitar. He taught himself guitar, but his dad was really anti him learning it for whatever reason, because his dad was a bit of a shithead, let's face it. So, you know, he was learning it in his bedroom alone and keeping it a secret. And it was only when he moved in with Justin and Leah, and then, you know, Justin obviously plays guitar, and then Theo was like, oh, I can play guitar, and that's how it all came out. And then immediately he went and auditioned for Lyric and got the gig. So he hasn't got much experience of being in front of an audience performing in a band, apart from Lyric. And, you know, that what they do is every 2 weeks on a Friday at Salt, a wine bar in Mangrove River. And this is a big album launch.
Yeah, and there's media there. We've learned, haven't we, as well, that there's some scout from a record label there.
Oh yeah, so you're right.
The pressure is on. Yeah.
And he did have that wobble at Battle of the Bands, isn't it? Because I think that was the biggest gig that he'd played in front of the biggest audience that he played. And obviously, because it's Battle of the Bands, it's like, you're not just turning up to play a gig, you're being actively judged by the audience that you're playing to as well, aren't you? So it's a bigger deal, really.
Yeah.
And he did have that wobble, didn't he? Threw up in the bushes or whatever beforehand. So looks like, Theo chokes. Do you think that means he can't play at all, and maybe he just?
Yeah, the song started and he can't get it out.
Oh, it's going to be horrendous. Yeah. Horrendous. Okay. Felicity is haunted by her assault. Oh no, haunted. What does this mean? Does she remember
I don't
it?
think it's not going to be a literal haunting, is it?
But is it coming back to her? Is she remembering any detail of it? Do you think, or is it just the haunting is the blackmail and the text messages coming through and the reminders?
Could be. Or, is there has some images gone out online? Is he sending more to her? Is she having nightmares? I don't. It could be anything, really, couldn't it?
It could, yeah.
Like you say, are things coming back to us slowly?
Because we don't really know how much. Because I think we're meant to believe that she was knocked unconscious from the drugs or whatever it was they put in her drink. So she's unconscious when the attack happens, but maybe she's lucid enough that her subconscious remembers something. But maybe, I don't know. Could be anything, couldn't it? Could be anything. Marilyn rallies for Irene. Is this the Irene loneliness thing, do we think?
Well, this week she'd already offered to go and eat the beef lasagna. I mean, she gives that she gives that vegetarianism up quite quickly.
That's a sign of a good friend, though, isn't it? If your friend is willing, like your friend of vegetarian for how long? Like years, decades, 3 or 4 decades vegetarian. Says, "I'll come round and eat beef lasagna with you, so you don't feel lonely." That's a friend, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Then 3 days, IBS afterwards. Yeah, maybe she's spotting signs perhaps in Irene and is a bit concerned. And you know what? If it means we have more, we've said it before, but if it means we have more Marilyn and Irene, let's do it.
Yeah. Did you feel like that was a missing unsaid thing this week? When they're having that chat on the beach and Irene was saying, "Oh, I'm a bit lonely actually. I've lived on my own for over a year now. I've not had any borders. I've not had anybody, I've not had any like love interests or anybody else kicking around the house with me. I go home and I'm on my own." Didn't you feel that, at that point I was sort of willing Marilyn to say, "Why don't I move in? Why don't I come and stay with you for a bit?"
Like the old days.
Yeah, why don't I move even for a short period of time? I think the reason why we don't have it, and I was thinking about it like as the episode was kind of airing, I was like, why does she volunteer? Like if that was my friend, I'd be thinking, I'll come and live with you for a couple of weeks and maybe we can do some extra things after work, not just go home from the diner and sit and watch TV, or maybe we'll go out and catch a film, or do you know what I mean? I'd come up with some ideas, but I thought maybe we're not getting this because on the other hand, we're hearing that Martha's in the city with Rue and Alf's still staying in the caravan park for some unknown reason. And if she leaves Mr. Stewart on his own, I get the impression Mr. Stewart probably can't make himself dinner, or he seems a little bit, yeah.
Well, he can. Well, that's fine because he can go and catch dinner. Doesn't matter.
He can, but he can't cook it. I get the impression that Mr. Stewart needs a lady around the house to help him to make a sandwich.
I wonder as well if while Rue is, out of action, and Mr. Stewart might be going off on his usual sort of jaunt out of town for a bit. So you're going to have Marilyn rattling around in that great big old house there.
Yeah.
If she left there, though, who would be running the caravan? Like, do you know what I mean?
Who is running the caravan park now? I mean, this was something. I think was it Julie Smith or Sarah? Somebody on Twitter mentioned it this week and said, "Who's running the caravan park?" So at the moment, we're led to believe that the Summer Bay House occupants of Summer Bay House at the moment are Marilyn and Mr. Stewart. There's nobody else there. Rue's in hospital. Martha's effed off to Merimbula for absolutely ages. We haven't seen her in the Bay for about 6 months, have we? So it's only the two of them. So, and Marilyn obviously works in the diner. Is the bait shop still going? Is the Blacksland business still going? Is Alf running the caravan park, the bait shop, and the Blacksland business? and going to the
A lot of
city to
work
see
for an
Rue.
old geezer.
I
Yeah.
know. And then obviously,
Yeah.
if Irene and Marilyn do decide to move in with each other for a bit in the beach house, maybe Irene needs to move into Summer Bay House for a bit
Maybe. Yeah, maybe that's the answer.
and
Yeah.
help out with all the caravan park towels and wall of keys for a bit. But I assume it's still, just because we don't see it doesn't mean that it's not there.
Yeah. Someone's got to clean that shower block, surely.
Somebody has to fish all that hair out the drains every now and again. Like, I know,
Yeah.
gross. Okay, well, what does rallying mean? We'll have to wait and see, won't we? Marley feels disconnected from his business. What?
Everybody else is running it, that's why. Next.
Oh, yeah. Good point. Yeah. No. You're probably right about that, isn't it? Because Xander and Mac and everyone else is taking the surf lessons. Even the ones on the sand, which I don't see why Marley can't take himself.
Yeah, lazy sod.
Anyway. Oh, God. Tane and Cash race to find Felicity. Where is she?
She gone walkabout.
So do you reckon the blackmailer's come back and said, I need more money? And she's gone, I've just paid you 11 grand. That is the extent of the money I've got.
Oh, hang on a minute. Did you watch the trailer at the end of today's episode?
I don't think I did because I was running to meet you.
Sorry. So on the trailer for next week, it was showing her messaging him.
The blackmailer.
The blackmailer, saying basically, if I transfer you that amount of money, my husband's gonna find out. So I'm wondering if she's met them on her own.
What, met up with him in real life?
And then they're running to.
If you can get him to agree to meet you, you can take a copper along with you, brother, for God's sake. Oh, that's gonna wind me up, sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, just a thought.
Get him arrested. Yeah. Oh God. Right, okay. John is worried about Alf.
All right, worried about Alf in what way?
I don't know. It's just really just one line. John is worried about Alf.
Alf, I'm really worried because your wife is just down the road there.
Yeah.
And you don't seem to be.
And your daughter's in hospital, and yet you're just kicking around the bay drinking tea in the diner. Very odd. Because we had that one scene this week where he was on the phone, I presume, to Martha in the city, and he says, "All right, I won't come there now." And then he says something to Irene about how Rue's had a big day in physio or something. Was it physio? And how she's totally knackered, and he's not going to go and see her that day because she just needs a rest.
Yeah.
But he's not going to go to the city to see his wife either.
Yeah, this is what I mean.
What's
Bit
going
odd,
on?
isn't it?
What's
Very
going on
odd.
with this marriage? It doesn't bode well, this marriage.
Perhaps that's what John's worried about as well.
John is worried for Alf. Okay, next day. Cash's professionalism is put to the test. This has got to be the blackmailer thing then, hasn't it? I think he's trying not to. He's tracked Flick down meeting this guy. He's trying not to put a bullet in his head or something.
Yeah, trying not to murder him. Yeah. So maybe we'll complain about this story not moving on. Perhaps we're getting something this week.
I hope so. Rose prepares to meet Marley's mum. Oh God. We've just said the L word, so now we've got the family get together.
Does the mum know?
No, I don't think she does, because not that long ago, is it? The mum had a birthday, didn't she? And there was that whole misunderstanding where Rose thought she was invited to the party. You can't miss it. It's going to be great. And she's like, oh, I'm going to go to the party. And then Marley was like, no, you're not invited. This is family only. Was that 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, it weren't that long ago, and there was all on and off again since then anyway. Will we meet Mum, I wonder, and will we be able to see Alandra again? Because I quite liked her.
Yeah, I liked Alandra. Possibly. Yeah, I suppose, do we get to see them in Hinky Dinkyville, or does Mum come to the bay? to coin a phrase of yours. Are we going off to Hinky Dinkyville on a trip to meet Mum, or is
Well,
Mum coming to the bay?
If we're going to Inky Dinkyville, we're not seeing it, are we?
No, we're going to hear about it, aren't we? Rose
Mm.
prepares to meet Marley's
Somebody
mum.
didn't somebody tweeted us and was like, "Can you mention how we don't see anything?"
That was Jacob, I think, wasn't it? No, it was Jamie. It was
Yeah.
Jamie. Jamie tweeted us and said, "There's so much stuff happening off camera. You know, the court case with Margot this week. What else didn't we see? Oh, God,
The wedding, Jet's
the wedding. Yes.
Yeah. And he sort of put it down to budget constraints.
Yes. Yeah.
Don't know if that is the case or not, but it certainly feels like we're missing out a bit here on some things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully we do see her. Alf shuts down John's concerns. So he's gone, get out of it, mate. My none of your business. Me and my wife are fine. Whatever the problem is, I don't know.
Keep this out. Why do we go Cockney when we do that anyway?
I can't do an Aussie accent, so I'll just do the only one I can do that's not mine. Get out of my pub. I mean, stay out of my marriage. I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, Rose meets Marley's mum. Maybe we do see it.
Did we just establish that?
No, yesterday was Rose prepares to meet Marley's mum, and today this is going to be Friday's episode now. On First Look, 6:30 p.m. Rose meets Marley's mum, so maybe we do get to see her.
Something else we're dragging out over there.
Oh God, give me strength. God, give me strength. Eden supports a broken Cash. Right, okay, so this has got to be to do with the blackmail thing escalating. Because yesterday, Cash's professionalism was being put to the test. The day before that, he was racing to find Felicity.
Oh, he's not killed the fella, has he?
Oh, God. I hope so, in a way, but...
Do you know as well, like, Cash's professionalism left the building a long while ago.
We get regular tweets about this from several of our friends on Twitter about Cash and his lack of professionalism at work. So yeah,
like he should have been written off, suspended many moons ago.
He should be demoted. He's still senior constable. He should be just plod at the moment. I'm afraid.
Office duty.
Yeah, just buying the donuts in the diner and answering the phone. Like, he would be in a shit ton of trouble by now if this was
Let
real.
alone investigating his own sister's sexual stuff.
I know. Oh, bless. Okay, right. So the last line of the week, we're going back to Alf and whatever Alf's problem is. And now Marilyn is involved because it says, can Marilyn convince Alf to get help? I've lost the plot here. What's going on with Alf?
What is up with Alf?
I don't know. I've gone somewhere very...
rude?
I was going to say, was it rude? I was going to say, was it rude? I've gone somewhere very dark and gross in my brain, but that's I'm not going to share. What on earth is wrong with Alf? I don't get it.